And I've had good relationships in my life, right? Here. But I have never felt like a king or got true king treatment until I went out of this country.
Facts.
Where you're praised, especially as a black man, and we'll go forward with that later, but as a black African American man, one, I'm from America,
Yeah.
and two, I'm black.
For being you, right?
It's like the world is yours whenever you leave this country. I can't say for every place, right? But for a lot of places.
Listen, I've traveled to over 12 countries throughout my life. And let me tell you guys something. He's absolutely correct. Case in point. Pay attention. He's in Thailand.
Well, I'm okay, thank you. I'm okay. No, thank you. Saudi, huh?
And one of the 12 countries that I've been to is Thailand. And what you just saw is absolutely facts. Passport boys, we up, what up? But trust me when I say this, my boys and I couldn't believe our eyes when we're walking through the streets and we're being uplifted and treated like rare kings. Because you got to remember, to them, we are exotic. While in the West, we're often reviled. Questions, comments?
I don't know how many times I have to say it. I don't know how many times you have to hear other people say it. But I kind of feel that when somebody with a little bit more credibilities and damn sure a lot more followers than I do says the exact same thing, some people may actually start to listen. Now, shout out to the homie, man, the big homie, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. If you're not familiar with the channel, y'all been sleeping for a while. Love this brother. He's definitely somebody who has great insight into context and starting videos and stuff. Some people love him, some people hate him, but hey, it all comes with the territory, right? You know, same thing with Kevin Samuels, God rest the Godfather. But, man, I don't know who else needs to tell y'all that as black men, when we go abroad, they make us feel like kings. And the brother said it so on point, it was scary. Because in the video, he says black men are treated like rare kings when we go abroad. And he was on point. It's not going to be everywhere that we go, but for the majority of the places that we do go, we're going to be treated that way. And I've been saying this since day one. Guys, black men are exotic when we go abroad. We're different. We're new. Right? It's not like in the West where it's the same old, same old. Hey, black men are this, and there's such a negative stigma with it. I kind of feel like black men who are in the United States, when they travel abroad, it seems as though they feel like the same negative stereotypes and stigmas that are placed upon us in the Western world or in the United States more particularly, that's going to run with us and follow us to the countries abroad. A lot of them don't really buy into that politic. A lot of them don't buy into that, talking point at all. They genuinely enjoy a black man's presence. Now, the second video where my brother was walking down the street and all the girls was giving him love and shit, you know what I'm saying? You can look at that two ways. It did look as though, my brother was feeling himself, smiling and, enjoying his walk down now. What looks to be like a massage parlor avenue or something where all the young ladies are standing outside, saying hi and giving them love and shit. Now, y'all may be like, oh, man, they do that to anybody who walks by. They do that to anybody who walks by because they want to get paid and all that stuff. You may have that talking point, but let me make one thing abundantly clear. There is a high percentage chance that you will likely see a white guy before you see a black guy in many Asian countries, right? I think we can say that on a fair assessment, the travel rate for Caucasian European males, highly more likely than African American males, right? So if it wasn't for the genuine fact that they were actually intrigued by this brother, don't you think they would probably wait for the next white guy to walk around as opposed to just waiting, saying hi to the brother when he walked past and shit like that? Because again, if they ain't really fuck with us like that, or they really didn't have a vibe for us like that, Don't you think they'd just bypass him and just wait for the next white guy to come around and the next guy of any other race to come by? And I'm just throwing that out there because, again, I love these talking points. But back to the topic of conversation, man. As black men, I don't know how many of us have to tell you the exact same thing. Small YouTuber over here. We small in this corner. We do what we do in this sector, but we continue to perpetuate the same narratives that black men should travel and then share and enjoy their experiences. Now, to all my Caucasian brethren and brethren of other races who actually tune into this channel, don't ever get it twisted. I still got love for y'all. But sometimes, every now and again, I got to set one aside for minds, right? Every now and again, I got to talk directly to minds because I enjoy encouraging or being a part of the encouragement behind getting people who look like myself to get out there and make an attempt to see the world, right? Don't necessarily got to be the Philippines. Don't have to be Thailand, you know. But to get you out there in the world, to get you out there to see what we have experienced, ain't nothing like it, man. Ain't nothing like it. It truly is not. And, you know, being back in the States for as long as I have, thank God I got my wife with me. But, you know, you see a lot of miserable dudes, miserable black men, like, baby mama tripping, or, she doing this, she doing that. And they're dealing with wrong women, like, or women that are wrong for them. And it has nothing to do with race. It's just the attitudes, the nature of the certain woman that they're choosing to deal with. It's just, it's overwhelming, right? And, you know, heaven forbid they have kids with some of these ladies and they threaten to keep the child away from you because you're not doing right as a father or whatever. Fuck, you know the games and the manipulative tactics that go with it. A lot of that fades away in the background when you travel abroad, and there's very few people who can say otherwise. Very few people who can say otherwise. I believe, for me, my personal perspective, I believe that the majority of the time, the love is genuine. When they're out there happy to see you, and even in the Philippines, like I said, where I spent the majority of my time, you know, it feels like that love is genuine, right? It doesn't look or feel like somebody's just out to get their hands in your pocket. They genuinely want to know you. They don't have any preconceived notions about you unless they had a cousin or a sister or somebody who dated a black guy that did them well. Those are the only people you may have, not necessarily to convince, but those are the people who may pose somewhat of a challenge when it comes to you just trying to genuinely enjoy your vacation, because they kind of make it difficult for you to talk to people, especially if they in their homegirl ear talk about, you don't need to talk to that guy because of this, and this, because my cousin did this, and this with somebody who looked like him and all this shit. You know how it goes, because gossip is like top notch in the Philippines. But I'm just gonna leave you with this. I don't know how many other people got to tell y'all, man. This shit is legit. The shit's legit when it comes to the genuine love, respect that you get as a black man abroad. And I've said it in a lot of my videos where it talked about why black men should travel abroad. And I know I mentioned the word exotic a lot. I mean, you can find old videos where I've talked about this, and I know for a fact I mentioned the word exotic. Because we're different, right? We're not like any of the guys that are living in the country. We're not like any of the guys that visit the country on a regular basis. So we are in somewhat of a realm of our own, y'all. It's scary, but it's like you're in a playing field of your own. And there's very few people over here who could fuck with you because you represent something new, different. You represent new experiences. That's all I'm gonna say, ladies and gentlemen, my bad. If you enjoyed this video, you already know what to do, man. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. This has been a good doc, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. Time for me to go and get to getting. With that being said, good doc is officially out. At least not go back, which means I am going now. Bye bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Makita, mabuhay. Peace.